Why unenforceable?
You can enforce it if you're sufficiently intrusive. You can put spies on every street. You can have marshals watching through windows. You can do all the disagreeable things which I pointed out in my article. But unless you do that, people are not going to respect it unless they think it's a good idea. Many people do, but there's a very large number who don't.
Why is it not a good idea to try and regain control of a virus that is spreading out of control?
It's an excellent idea to get control of the virus if it was possible. But the fact is, it's not possible. We have tried the most aggressive form of social distancing possible, a complete lockdown. Other European countries have done it even more fiercely than we have. Does it work? No, it does not. That's why we're in the current position. The problem about a lockdown was pointed out to the government by SAGE on 2 occasions before it was imposed, once on the 25th of February and once on the 16th of March. What they said on both of those occasions was that a lockdown does not reduce deaths. It only spreads them over a long period. So you have 3 choices. You can have no lockdown, you can have a permanent lockdown until somebody devises a safe and effective vaccine. We have no idea when that will be. And the third choice is you can have a strictly temporary lockdown for long enough to enable the NHS intensive care capacity to catch up. Initially, the government adopted that third approach. But then, when it had successfully boosted the capacity of the NHS and succeeded in that policy, it lost its way. This happened at the beginning of May, when they continued the lockdown after its only sensible objective had been achieved. The problem with the government's present policy is that it is not possible for governments to get control of a virus that has become endemic without taking steps which are so brutal and intrusive as to destroy our society, our economy, our children's education, and everything that makes it worthwhile to be alive.
Is your argument then that the lockdown was ineffective in stopping the spread of the virus, but was effective in allowing the government to build up capacity to deal with the consequences of the virus that was running amok, particularly in those more elderly and more vulnerable?
I think that it was effective in allowing the NHS's ICU capacity to catch up. The peak of hospitalizations was achieved on the 11th of April. By the end of April, the government had brought on stream large amounts of additional capacity through the Nightingale hospitals and the requisitioning of private health capacity. And the fact is we have never come anywhere close.
So are you, sorry to interrupt, but are you then saying, well, if it's not lockdown as we've previously experienced it, and if it's not this sort of Stasi state that you're referring to in this piece, what is it that is relied upon to try and manage, control, in whatever way, whether it's ICU capacity or just the spread of it? What else is it that can be relied upon to help control this?
I don't believe that there is any effective way of eliminating an endemic virus.
No, I agree. You can't. Once it's here, it's here, and that was the SAGE notes make that clear. But
short of a vaccine,
but there is no country that has just returned completely to where we were before this. Even Sweden, where there famously is no lockdown, has brought in social distancing measures.
It has brought in much more moderate social distancing measures than we have. I mean, what the most striking lesson of all this is that there are many things that affect the progress of the virus. I suspect that the most important is the underlying state of health of the population, which varies from one European country to another. One thing that doesn't seem to make a difference is government action. So you have the minimum of government action in Sweden, the maximum of government action in Spain, and what is the result? Spain is currently much worse off than Sweden.
But